Hello! Sonia here with your intuitive tip of the week. And this week we're talking about guides. So, if you follow me, I was in Chicago last weekend with my mom, Sonia Choquette, and we taught my favorite workshop, Ask Your Guides. Ask Your Guides has been a course and work that has been near and dear to my heart forever because guides are super fun. It's really wonderful when we can start to connect to the subtle energies and frequencies and see how supported we are. But I find with this topic that so often we get so inundated with information and get really confused and disconnected. So I want to give you some of my favorite and most basic tools to start connecting to your divine support system, your guides. So first thing, number one, you have to be in your body. What do I mean by that? See, intuition resides in our bodies, in our physicality. And the more that we're sensitive to our physical container, the more that we pick up on our intuition, the more that we pay attention to the subtle frequencies, the more that we pay attention and feel those little shifts. The thing about guides and the thing about guidance is that it's not a mandate. A lot of times we think it's like Elvis Presley that's gonna be walking into the room, it's gonna be a big deal, it's not. Intuition is subtle. Vibrations from our guides are subtle. So if we're not home in our physicality, we're not gonna feel anything. The way that I think about it is it's kind of like having a phone and having it be on silent. If it's on silent or do not disturb, no matter how many phone calls you get, you're gonna feel like no one's calling you. So put that phone on, not vibrate, but on loud. And that means starting by getting back into your body. Some of my favorite ways to do this are dancing, singing, playing, walking, yoga, kickboxing. Those are just some of the ways that I use to get back in my body, but find what works for you. And the more that we can make an intention, the more that we can come back to this physical container and become sensitive to it, the more we become guidable. Which brings me to step 2, be guidable. The thing is a lot of times we actually block not only our intuition, but support from our guides because we're not actually that guidable. What we're looking for is confirmation or just telling us what is we already want to hear. And so you have to ask yourself and start to be honest. How available are you? Do you actually want guidance on something? Where do you want guidance? Where can you genuinely open yourself up to support? The more that we're guidable, the more that we turn over the reins and let a force bigger than ourselves lead the way, the more that we will move when we get the hit, when we get the intuitive guidance, when we have that little guide show up, that little thing pop in. It is vital. How guidable are you? And if you follow my new page, Sonia Choquette Tully on Instagram, you'll see that these are some of my favorite ways to get back in touch with your guides. Third, after being guidable, first of all, make sure that you have and actually want guidance. It's funny because a lot of times we are worried that our intuition is going to be a mandate. And if it's a mandate, that means that we don't want to listen to it. So oftentimes too, what I find with my clients and with people is that they decide that they want intuition on some big thing that happens way out there. It's like, when do I quit my job? Or one of them from this past weekend was there was a woman who was a doctor and she was wanting to open up a healing center. And it was like, when do I open the ranch? But that really wasn't the question that she wanted guidance on. That wasn't the true essence of where she needed help. Where she actually needed help and where she was actually opening up to her own guidance and the real question was how can I be available to stand in my power without my contemporaries judging me? As a doctor, very left brain a lot of times. And the funny thing was her head gave her all these very specific answers with like open a ranch and do this. But when she actually was available for true guidance, when she actually asked her guides and her support system, what she got was go for it. Coming to the next thing. The way that guides speak in language is simple. It's not a lot of to-do things. It's not a lot of blah, blah, blah. It is very simple. The simpler it is, the more it resonates. And that's a reason why we have to be in our body. Does it resonate as true? Our guides love us unconditionally. The universe loves us unconditionally. It doesn't care whether or not you follow the guidance, but at the same time, it won't override your free will. So pay attention. Ask yourself, is that the true question that I want guidance on? And if it's not, or if you're not ready, that's okay. It's not a big deal. It just means that you have to go back to the drawing board and get clear on what your actual question is. This is how it works with intuition, with guides, with our support system. The more that you're clear, and most importantly, what is the logical next step? A lot of times what we do is we ask for things that are way, way, way down the road. And that's our head trying to figure things out. For example, one thing for me, I am back in New Orleans and I want to move back to Paris really badly. And I got back here and I have all of my things and I started to have anxiety because I brought all of these beautiful things for my altar to start to make my house here feel more like a home. And then my head was like, oh no, they're going to be stuck here in New Orleans, la la la. How are you going to get back to Paris? And there was part of me with my own head where I had to ask, what is the next grounded step? Instead of how do I get back to Paris, which was actually a head question, when I got down to the guidance, it was what are the next steps that I need to take right now to even open up a pathway for my way to Paris? It was something that's a lot more immediate. It's a lot more something that's a lot more grounded. And actually the guidance that I got was relax. I know that I'll make my way back there. And in me trying to figure it out and trying to force my intuition and force my guidance to work, what it does is, and this is what I see so often, is it makes us feel like crazy people. The thing is we can't figure things out. You can plan, you can do all that. And that's actually a great way that our intellect can be in support. It's like when we get that guidance. For me, it was like taking in the next few steps was relax. And so the way that my head could be supportive to that was A, get a kickbox class to help me relax, B, meditate, create that space, C, journal. Those are all ways that my intellect can be in support to my guidance, which comes to my last point of how you know it's actually guides and not just your high intellect, which can masquerade so often as your guides. And it's that the answer is surprising. The fun thing about guides and the fun thing about guidance is oftentimes it surprises us. It's not the answer that we thought we needed or were looking for. For me, for example, with my wanting to get back to Paris, the last thing that I would have expected was for my guides to tell me to relax. My head was like wanting to figure out all the different things, but I paid attention to how it made me feel in my body. Grounded, reassured, open, even if it wasn't the guidance that I expected. My high intellect, that guidance would have been like, well, start to come up with a business plan and a plan and X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not there yet. And my guides know that. So just to recap, A, be in your body. That's where we receive our guidance. Be guideable. The thing about intuition, the thing about these subtle energies and frequencies is that we have to be able to move with them and not fight ourselves. 3, ask a real, genuine question. Not something that your intellect wants to figure out to make yourself feel more grounded. Ask real questions. 4, make sure that it's grounded in the here and now. Think about it of where do I get guidance for the next immediate step? that is where we can really be flexible and be available and actually put our intuition and guidance into practice. And last and not least, pay attention for the signature, not only of our guidance, but our own availability. One, it's surprising. It's not something that your head would have figured out. And B, it is grounding and reassuring and opens you up and makes you feel more available. So that is my video for this week on guides. This is a very, very, very beginning step, a teeny tiny little doorway into these places in which we can really access and support these beautiful support systems that we have starting right now. And if you're somebody who wants to get more in touch with your guides and really need some better support, click my LinkedIn, not my LinkedIn, my Linktree, and book a discovery call with me. I have been mentoring and getting in touch with your guides for over 15 years. It's one of my favorite programs because it's really fun. And if you are actually just somebody who needs some clarity, maybe you're struggling in a fog of confusion, maybe you're not really sure what's next, maybe your heart is telling you it's time to take a leap, but you're not sure what that is, book a soul reading with me. We'll get clear on your soul purpose, on your gifts, on your blind spots, and how to create grounded solutions and steps forward to put into action right now. Right now, we are in information overload. It's too much. So unless we start having these felt embodied experiences, it's not really going to do us any good. So ask your guides and trust your intuition and make the call today. And finally, last but not least, if you're watching this on Instagram, sign up for my mailing list. You can do that in my Linktree bio or over on my site, soniatully.com, and sign up for the newsletter. You'll get this free spiritual lesson with tools to tune in every single week. So also, if you have other things you want to help on, message me, email me. I love hearing from you. It's really a pleasure. So I hope that you have a lot of fun with your guides this week. Really, it's the most fun and magic to be supported and recognize that you have this whole support system. You just got to make sure your phone's not on silent. Sending you all my love. Bye.